Mayday here. 782, we have smoke in the cabin.
Yeah, 782, the attack, pilot maintain.
Good evening and welcome to Galactic Terrors, the online reading series that scours the known universe for scary stories, strange tales, weird horror, and all sorts of literary oddities from the most imaginative authors writing in a variety of fascinating genres. I'm James Chambers, and with me is my co-host, Carol Gyzander, and we are back. After a 2-month hiatus, we're back. Watch out. During which we attempted to catch our breath, reset some buttons, and generally get caught up on things and get ahead. And I will refrain from commenting on how well we achieved those goals.
I think the most important thing is that we did not explode.
Yes,
right?
That's true. We did contain the excess kinetic energy. But we're back, and we would love it if you click subscribe. Like and subscribe below to follow future Galactic Terrors transmissions. We are planning to resume our regularly scheduled broadcasts on the second Thursday of the month. And if you want to be kept in the loop on who's coming, when they're going to be here, and what we're going to be talking about, go ahead and sign up for our Galactic Terrors newsletter, which goes out twice a month, with lots of useful information if you want to follow the series. And I neglected to say that this is the July 2026 broadcast or transmission of Galactic Terrors at the top there.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, Carol?
Yeah, we've been doing this a while. I'm pretty good. Still trying to catch up on all the things that I was too busy to do before, but and then things go wrong with your house and that like drops everything out. But yeah, loads of fun. We won't talk about air conditioning going out in the house during the 105-degree heat. We won't talk about that. No,
that's save it for a horror story. I think that'd be a great inspiration for a technological horror story.
I think that's an excellent idea. Yeah. Cool.
No, but there's been a lot going on. What's that?
Oh, we're gonna have some fun tonight, though.
We are, with our special guests reading with us tonight, Tom Joyce and Craig DILOUIE. And we regret to say Danielle Ackley-McPhail could not join us due to illness at the last minute. Danielle was really hoping to be here and had to bow out. She just wasn't feeling up to doing this. So we hope you feel better soon, Danielle. And we will definitely have you back on, hopefully in the next few months sometime.
Yeah, we look forward to having her back on when she's more able to be involved with her words and such, because her words are great. So that'll be terrific. Yeah, cool. But there has been a lot going on, hasn't there? I mean, somebody I know was a little bit busy with StokerCon. You want to tell us a little bit about StokerCon, Jim? That's one of the things that we were doing during the break here.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the reasons we took a break, is to create some breathing room for my work on StokerCon in May and June, which took place in Pittsburgh at the Westin Hotel, and it ran June 4th to the 7th and was quite a success this year. We had close to, if not about 900 attendees and some fantastic guests of honor, terrific programming, and just a great time hanging out with the way I think of it is with hundreds of your closest friends who love horror. And that was definitely the vibe for the whole duration of the con, at least as far as I saw. How about you, Carol?
Yes, I had a terrific time, and I love the people that I don't see any other time, and it always feels like I just saw you yesterday, but it was last year. So it was a terrific thing, and I saw that the convention grew even larger this year. Yes, quite a few more
It's
people.
definitely growing, and hopefully will continue to grow next year. We've got some exciting guests of honor, just a few of whom have been announced so far, but if you come to StokerCon in Pittsburgh next June 2027, you'll be there with guests of honor Nancy Collins, T. Kingfisher, and Joe Hill. So that should be a lot of fun. And we've got 4 more guests to announce. So follow the StokerCon social media and announcements, emails, and we'll keep you in the loop.
So you're just doing the thing like from Rocky Horror Picture Show with it. We're going to have to wait and find out who the others are. Okay, that's fair.
Exactly. Yes, anticipation.
Cool. That's
So
cool.
how about you, Carol?
Well,
what have you been up to? What's coming up?
There's a couple things coming up. The first thing I wanted to mention, though, is that there's an author, Cindy O'Quinn, who we know and love very well in the horror community, and she unfortunately suffered some multiple spinal injuries following a fall, and she needs some surgery to prevent further damage and the risk of paralysis. Her son has started a financial support drive, and many people are stepping up to help. So I'm hoping that folks might be able to make a donation if they're able and willing, and it's not too much stress. I'm just going to put the link here. There we go. Oh, we got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
So
Chat.
beat me to it. So thanks to everybody who is willing to pay attention and may have an opportunity to help. Not everybody can, but there's been a tremendous response just in the first day, and I'm hoping she's able to get her surgery soon. Yes, and Amanda made a really good point. You can also share if you can't donate, because that helps too. Yeah, so thank you for helping me say that, Amanda. Yeah. But I have some events coming up, which are going to be kind of fun this coming Sunday. Aspire Brewing is excited to host the Thrills and Chills Book Fair. It's on Sunday this coming weekend, July 12th, and it features a number of our HWA New York authors. There's tickets to go to the event, but it's going to be really cool. It's a whole afternoon of celebrating thriller, horror, and dark romance books. There's 40-plus authors, local vendors, indie bookstores, book signings, and more. You can grab a drink, explore the brewery, meet some fellow book lovers, and discover your next favorite read while enjoying everything Aspire Brewing has to offer, including their self-pour tap wall, restaurant, axe throwing, and indoor cornhole. Now, self-serve beer and axe throwing, how could anything possibly go wrong at a horror event like that? I mean, the stories almost write themselves, don't they?
It's going to be perfectly safe. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But there's tickets available, and I'll drop the link in there as well. And so that, I think, is going to be an awful lot of fun.
There we go.
There we go. Axe throwing. Yeah.
And then a little closer to, not necessarily closer to home, but coming back closer to New York City in Brooklyn. There's something really cool coming up in about 2 weeks, maybe just a little under 2 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. This is at the Twisted Spine.
Yeah, well, Twisted Spine is sponsoring it, but they needed more room than they have in their lovely store. So they're doing it at, guess what? Another brewery. I think it's at Brooklyn Brewery.
Yes.
Which will be very cool. And guess where that is? That's in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this, do you want to tell us a little bit about this? I know we've got this cool graphic.
Yeah, you have to peer in really close to see, but I'll go this way so I'm not hidden. But basically, he has a new book. This is his Carry Me to Your Bookshelf tour. And Christopher has a new book coming out, which he says is his newest and favorite most novel so far, Carry Me to My Grave. And he's bringing all these others along with them. So they're going to each have their books available that you can get and have them signed. They're going to do a couple a couple lectures of interesting stuff during the evening. So it's going to be from 5 to 8:30, I think. And it sounds like an awful lot of fun. I mean, look at all the folks that they brought together. Nat Cassidy, Clay McLeod Chapman, Nikki Gonzalez, Nicholas Kaufman, Brian Keene, John Langland, Victor Laval, CJ Lead, Tanya Pell, Mary Sangiovanni, and Tony Tremblay. I mean, this is cool. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope those in the area are able to travel in and, come to join that as well. So that's
Awesome.
neat. Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you say we jump into tonight's readings?
Yes, please.
All right.
I've been waiting months for this. Yeah.
Yes. Our first reader tonight is Tom Joyce. Tom is an affiliate member of the HWA and a volunteer who writes a column for the Horror Writers Association's website and newsletter called Nuts and Bolts, featuring interviews about the craft and business of writing. Watch for upcoming interviews with author and librarian Becky Spratford on the relationship between readers, writers, and libraries, and with author Robert Atone about the finer points of working a table at conventions. And you can find the Nuts and Bolts interviews with lots of other great stuff for writers on the Horror Writers Association website at horror.org. And we are excited to hear from Tom. Tom, welcome to Galactic Terror.
Uncle Ravenbeak, an essay. I love my Uncle Ravenbeak. His visits are so fun. He's partial to my family, and I'm his favorite one. Mom says he's from an ancient line. She's nervous when he's here. I don't know why. His visits are the bestest time of year. He juggles and does sleight of hand, tells fortunes and reads minds, sells good luck charms and amulets he makes from junk he finds. He tells the coolest anecdotes of secret histories, mad magi and mad emperors and madder deities. But best of all is when he draws a circle on the floor, then lights a candle, calls upon his shadow servitor. Sometimes we get a sudden storm. Sometimes the whole house shakes. A streetlight might explode outside. A water main might break. He always tells my parents there's no need to be afraid. Still, Dad breaks out the daddy juice and cocktails get made. But we get past it. It's such fun when strange things come about. Like that priest who stopped mid-mass to tear his eyeballs out. Or like my grade school principal who got on the PA, then screamed about the Archon's wrath. We had no school next day. Or like the road construction crew abandoning a site before the unseen presence took another in the night. Or ritualistic murders at the garden club's Black Mass. It's like the world's best comic book, except it kicks more ass. Someday, he says, he'll teach me all the secrets of our line, of dark potentialities within the human mind, of fissures in reality, the glimpses they provide, into a realm of madness where the chaos gods abide. Ha 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 ha. Sorry. For now, I'll settle for his tricks, his jokes, his wizened face. When Uncle Ravenbeak's around, the world's a magic place. The end. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom. Thought I'd share some of my poetry with you tonight. Very excited to be on Galactic Terrors. I think it's a wonderful reading series. And I would like to thank the Horror Zine for recently running my very first published poetry in their spring 2026 issue. For a beginning writer like me, that's a very big deal. So thank you, Horror Zine. You will be greatly missed. Two fun facts about this next poem. One, It's in iambic pentameter, which I am very proud of for some damn reason, possibly because I am a nerd. And two, the term resurrection man was 19th century slang for a grave robber. This poem is titled Stan the Resurrection Man. They call me Stan, the Resurrection Man. Your bodies? Over there, inside that van. You like the flask? That's cool. Let's take a nip and drink a toast to our new partnership. My family sells the best, as you can see. Been at this since the 19th century. Insurance job, you need them for a crash? They're yours, my friend. I trust you got the cash. You think I charge too much? Too bad. Too late. My family doesn't renegotiate. No need for guns. We're cool. But may I ask, are you dead sure we both drank from the same flask? I'll take that from your hand. You're getting weak. Don't tax yourself. I know. It's hard to speak. That stuff, the CIA developed it. My deal is mixed up in some James Bond shit. It comes on fast once it begins to act and leaves internal organs quite intact. Ah, science. Will its wonders never cease? It's been a pleasure, friend. Now rest in peace. Okay, I got one more poem here. This one is titled Welcome, Boils and Ghouls. Perhaps you've seen me leering from a drugstore spinner rack, the kind that management would tuck discreetly in the back. I may have been a devil, a mad scientist or witch, a vampire, a mortician, a temptress, or a lich. I introduced the tales of a wrathful universe, of characters detestable and punishments perverse, of otherworldly terrors, bloody murders, lives undone, and wrapped up each damnation with a groan-inducing pun. A horror comics cover, it's the gateway to my lair. So step inside, intrepid souls, and read on if you dare. Let's say for something different, we explore a mystery. The story of my origin, my autobiography. I'll start with an admission, a past crime I must confess. My role in that monstrosity called human consciousness. Hominids, your ancestors, once sensed me in the night. A presence come to guide them through a realm of strange delights. I beckoned from the shadows, whispered, enter my domain, and spark the evolution of your twisted human brain. I bade them to make markings upon stone and bark and hide. Let art and language come to them. The brutes, enthralled, complied. In eons since, I've lingered in the wings of your nightmares. The ghost of your subconsciousness. Perhaps you've sensed me there. A god of lurid tales come to mock your petty sins and demarcate the gateway where oblivion begins. And so we end our story, but it never truly ends. So come again to hear a tale when black of night descends. In the ink and in your mind, I'll make my habitation. You might call me a pigment of your imagination. The end. That's it for me. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that was awesome! Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really got my brain going. That was terrific. You know.
Oh, thanks.
Well, there were a lot of folks who, watching it and were saying things in the chat who enjoyed it. Amanda pointed out that she loves the storytelling in these.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
But not only that, Danielle pointed out it's hard to make form poetry sound conversational. Nice work.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
And
I appreciate it.
Here's one more thought, which is cool. Oh, it doesn't want to go away.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's not what I was trying to do. Yeah.
No.
And Angelica Smith also pointed out that, the performance is fantastic too.
Great.
So,
great. Oh, thanks.
Well done.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's very kind.
Yeah.
Very kind of everybody.
So here is a question for you, though. Did you practice in front of other humans or pets or the mirror? And Amanda wants to know.
I practiced in front of the mirror. I had to avoid. I couldn't really practice around my pets because there was a lot of shouting, and I have 2 cats. I felt bad. I actually, I locked myself, in like a room downstairs to practice that for the show. I don't like to upset my cats.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I used to be the Eagle Scout advisor in Boy Scouts in our northern New Jersey district, and so one of the things I would do would be coach the guys when they had to give a presentation about their Eagle Award for the award ceremony, blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, if you're nervous, first of all, do it to yourself. Talk to it, in the mirror. Talk in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Then go outside and do your presentation to a tree. The tree's not going to get upset. It's not going to care. So that's definitely better than scaring the cats. So that's really
cool. Yeah. But yeah.
So this was your first.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this was your first published poetry then.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So very excited about that. Cool. So yeah.
So that makes me wonder: have you written it before and just not published it, or is this a new foray in your writing adventure?
Well, I mean, in a way, like my last appearance on here, I did a poem, but it was kind of dressed up with like a bunch of other stuff. So I got. A few years ago, I sort of got the. I was a member of a group called Pen Writers. I believe this gentleman was at StokerCon, Tim and Zayas, and I think he also. I ended up taking the poetry day-long poetry seminar that the Horror Writers Association sponsored. Picked this up. Highly recommended.
Yep.
So
definitely.
I just
writing in the dark.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get like that first novel done. So I'm trying not to distract myself with side projects, but poetry just kind of like, wormed its way in there somehow. I decided to give, poems a shot. So,
I think that's clever because a lot of people do that with short stories as like a palate cleanser between chunks of their novel or whatever. But a poem can be shorter. It can be done quicker. Doesn't necessarily mean it's done quicker, but and that's a really cool idea.
Well, I had to force myself to stop writing short stories. I was like, just write the damn novel, man. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Just do the big thing. Do the big thing. Yeah. So, yeah. Actually, I totally cracked up at the first one when he got out the daddy juice and made some cocktails. Like, okay, the daddy juice. Okay, that was a great line.
Nice. Yeah. Like for my nuts and bolts column, a while ago, I interviewed Scottish author. Last I heard he's living in Australia, Jan Andrew Henderson. And he advised. He said, don't look at humor and horror as being mutually exclusive. So, I thought that was very good
Yeah.
advice. I kind of, took that into account when
Yeah.
coming up with that piece,
I think that's an excellent point because both of them have a way of relieving tension. When you laugh at something, you go, oh, I let it all out. I feel better now. And when you scream in shock and horror, that can do the same thing. You can release tension both ways. So that's really interesting. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. We have another question for you. Daniel's asking, what poets, speculative or otherwise, have you been influenced by?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I'm not going to. I'm going to avoid mentioning any of the poets affiliated with the Horror Writers Association because I'd be here for an hour. I don't want to exclude anybody. I kind of like. I like metered rhyming poems. Two of my favorites, Tom Waits, the song "First Kiss." I'm pretty sure that's a vampire story. Whatever it is, it's creepy as hell. And Edward Gorey. You talk about a guy who can the Gashly Crumb Tinies. I mean, it's simultaneously a deeply unsettling horror book and a hilarious parody of children's literature. I mean, the fact that he pulled that off in one work is truly remarkable. I like that, the intersection of horror and humor. I really admire people who can achieve that balance.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. Okay, here's a very difficult question for you. Nick wants to know what you're gonna do.
Okay. What am I going to decorate back here with? Oh, yeah. Well, actually, my wife and I were kind of in the process of getting our house, getting the interior fixed up here. Oh, looks like you're frozen there, Carol.
All right. Hey, I'll jump on. And while Carol is dealing with ether gremlins. But yeah, so Nicholas, your question, what you're going to decorate behind you with? And there's a big blank space behind Tom with no artwork, no Funkos, no mirrors. So I think you've got a blank slate, Tom.
Yeah. Well, this is our laundry room. I was just kind of looking for some place where, we got this new Himalayan kitten. The thing will not leave me alone. It's really cute, but
oh wow,
I kind of have to barricade myself, when this is necessary. But once me and my wife are getting our renovations done, my wife is having all the tasteful stuff upstairs, and in the basement, I'm just going to have a big ass Bruce Lee poster. Beyond that, I don't really care.
In the meantime, this is your kitten panic room, right? You have to.
Pretty much.
That's awesome.
He's got me under siege, that cat. Yeah.
Exactly. That's crazy. Well, I was really enjoying your poems, and I actually had a question, which is, when you wrote them, did you write them with the intention of doing this sort of performance reading of them, or did you write them and then it sort of came to you, oh, I could do this as the character?
Well, actually, you know what? A while ago, I kind of got more into doing really getting into the live readings. I've done presentations on it. I did one on Penn Writers on doing a live reading, and I kind of like it that way. Right. For me, that just really kind of helps open up the work. When I wrote those, I was submitting them to the horror zine. The two longer ones, like the horror zine, they accept 5. You submit 5 poems. She accepts 3 of them. The longer ones were the ones that were not accepted, so they were not in print. But I was honestly think that they worked better as live pieces. I think that sometimes, when I write something, I just say, this would just work better presented live than it would written down, So,
yeah, especially if you're writing in iambic pentameter, that really feels like it needs to be read aloud.
Oh yeah. Well, that one, I wrote that one down, but the thing is, honestly, I think it gets a bad rap because it just sounds scary. It sounds like something from Star Trek. We have to escape the force field, activate the iambic pentameter,
Right.
Just call it the 5 beat. That's all it is. So I found it kind of fun to play with. I found kind of working within forms, just helped open me up. You know what I mean? I'm not focusing on the form, so my brain's just coming up with ideas.
I love that, though. The next time I write a science fiction story, I'm going to stick some poetic technical terms in there as the technobabble. We'll have the pentameter drive and the iambic torpedoes or something.
Yeah, the iambic ionosphere. Yes, yes. I apologize for disappearing. I've been having troubles with my internet connection, and it keeps hiccuping. So I made my camera be really, really fuzzy, and that's a lower definition coming across. So I hope I don't freeze up again.
Oh,
Sorry
we're glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You look like you're trying to break through, like in Poltergeist, where you're coming through the TV or the Ring or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, I had one more question before you. So we mentioned that you write the nuts and bolts column for the HWA newsletter. Just give us a quick description. What is that about? Because you're digging into the literal nuts and bolts of writing with them, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's really just, me as a beginning writer. I started and I knew absolutely nothing. I mean, I'm just kind of, stumbling around, walking into things. And I was just truly astounded at how accessible and helpful everybody has been, everybody in the horror community. I mean, it's just remarkable. And, I just started reaching out to people and saying, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I thought, since people were so kind, so willing to help me, the very least that I could do is pass it along. So, that's kind of what the nuts and bolts is all about, is just me picking up practical information from some very kind, helpful, knowledgeable people and passing it along to my friends in the horror community.
That's great. Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, what do you say we bring on our next reader? Carol, do you want to do the honors?
Yes, and I just put the link in there for those.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, Tom, we'll bring you back on at the end for a quick wrap up.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Tom. Well, Craig DILOUIE is a USA Today best-selling author of horror, speculative, and military fiction, with multiple horror novels available from Hachette and Simon & Schuster. His most recent release is A Summer Fun Massacre, the first in the slasher duology, dropping in 2026. He's a member of the HWA. You can learn more about him at craigdilouie.com. Craig?
Hello, Galactic Terrors. Thank you, Carol, and thank you, James, for having me back. It's great to be back, and I have to say I really enjoyed Tom's poetry and especially his performance. He's going to be a very hard act to follow, but I'm going to do my best here. I'm going to be reading from The Summer Fun Massacre. It just dropped from Hachette, so it's pretty much available everywhere. It's the first in a duology coming out this year. The second book drops in November. The novel's about a small town sheriff trying to catch a killer after a masked maniac hacks everyone up at a summer camp. To do it, he'll need the help of a final girl. Basically, this novel started from a conversation I had with my partner, Chris Mars. We were talking about how one way to take a fresh look at tropes and genre is to invert tropes. And so I was used as an example, and I was talking about the deputy Dewey you see in almost every slasher movie. The deputy's not too bright. He kind of bumbles along, and he comes too late to do anything except bear witness. And he works for the sheriff who doesn't believe the kids when they're screaming for help. And so I wanted to give that deputy his redemption story. I wanted him to come. He comes too late, but he is well-meaning and earnest and tries to catch a killer. So the result is a story that's more like, well, probably the easiest comparison would be Kin, where, Keelan Patrick Burke's one of my heroes, and I loved how he examined the aftermath of a horror. And that's one of the things I try and do in some of my fiction as well. I love to take that approach. And so this is looking at the aftermath of, say, Friday the 13th. And now we have the deputy trying to catch a killer. And then in the sequel, so the first book's about the killer being unmasked, and then the sequel coming out in November, called The Yule Day Slaughter. There's an all-out battle for survival. So I'm going to start with chapter 2, and in this chapter, the deputy is at this crossroads having his coffee. He already checked out a noise at the summer camp. The counselors were complaining, this unearthly noise. He goes around with the flashlight, true to the trope. He doesn't see anything wrong. He leaves, and then he has a bad feeling and decides to go back and find some pretty terrible things going on, and a light on in a single cabin. And he decides to go in, saying he's armed and that he's coming in. Teenage girl with twigs in her blonde hair, leering grimace, bulging eyes, hatchet weaving a figure 8 toward his face. Tom doesn't shoot. Again, the training, but this time most of it's just him. His finger tightens around the trigger but stops in time. The girl gasps gibberish as she waves the hatchet, not as an attack, but as a warning. The side of her face glows red with swelling. Dark bruises in the shape of fingers form zebra stripes along her throat. Cuts and scratches lace her arms. Blood spots her ripped tee. Her eyes burn with rage and defiance. She's been in a fight tonight. Laura, he remembers, one of the counselors. A prim worrywart. She made him search all over with his flashlight even after her friends started to laugh off whatever had spooked him. A pretty girl next door type you find all over Texas, though she wore Coke bottle glasses that gave her a distinctive owlish look. She isn't wearing them now, and he wonders how well she can see him. Laura, I'm not going to hurt you. Tom angles the gun a little to the side. I'm Deputy Sheriff Tom Bailey. I was here earlier. I came back to check on you. Her eyes flicker with something like recognition. She's still in there, beneath the madness of survival. He's everywhere, she blurts. I need you to put the hatchet down so we can talk, okay? She slowly wags her head. Half her face appears to balloon before his eyes. They're dead. The counselors? He killed them all. Who did this? He sees you all the time. You can't run. You can't even hide. When he first entered the cabin, his instincts told him the girl was a victim and not the perpetrator, and his rational mind now catches up. She fought tonight and is still standing, but there doesn't seem to be much left of her except a stubborn will to survive. Laura came to this cabin to light the lantern and make her last stand. Still, he needs her to drop the weapon. Awareness that his backside faces an open door gnaws at him. A killer may be on the grounds, and he's vulnerable. Tom wrenches his eyes away from her for a snap scan of the room. Cedar walls, desk, and a few folksy decorations, including a cross-stitch wall hanging depicting a s'more treat and a corny exhortation to camp s'more, worry less. Bass radio, though someone smashed it good. Single window next to the door. Another door leading to where Mike sleeps. He wants to check that room, but he can't, not yet. I'll protect you, but you have to trust me. Put the hatchet down. The girl bursts into a peal of manic laughter. Laura, you can't protect me. You said he killed everyone. Is it just one assailant? Hungry, she blurts. Tom flinches at the word, which triggers a distant dark memory. Shrieking fills the air outside like her laughter's mocking echo. The staccato shrieks leap in volume until they seem to come from inside the cabin, an animal sound of anger and anguish, unnatural, like short human screams played in reverse. Tom wheels to check the door. Big mistake. When he returns his attention to Laura, however, the girl retreats from him, hugging the hatchet against her chest. She's visibly shaking with fear. The shrieks scrape like sandpaper along Tom's ears and nerves. The cabin's very walls appear to vibrate at the blasts. I'm going to check it out, he yells over the noise. I'll be right back. Tom turns toward the door again, and this time she jumps him. No, she says. Digging her nails into his body, she wraps her legs around his hips and fastens herself like a human anchor. Her body burns with fever heat. In her blind terror, she gnaws at his shoulder. As the shrieking grinds on, she's practically climbing him. Don't leave me alone. This horrible sound stops. The girl stiffens like wood as he tries to pry her off him while keeping hold of the revolver. Laura's face goes blank. Her eyes flare wide. He's here. Her voice a terrified whisper. Tom pushes her away and wheels with his .38 ready to shoot. Then he freezes too. A dark shape fills the glass. A grotesque head with impossibly long ears and black ovals where its eyes should be in its bloated, deformed face. A monstrous rabbit, a monstrous hare, straight out of a nightmare. An odd moist stink in the air, earth and minerals and decay. The right words appear in his mind like he can read them typewritten on a sheet of paper. Deputy Sheriff, freeze, or I will shoot. At last he finds speech. Freeze! The thing moves. The hand cannon roars in his grip. Lightning and a deafening bang. Hot metal punches out half the window in a burst of glass. The grotesque head is gone. Tom stands with the revolver aimed at the window until his arm begins to ache. Slowly, he lowers it and allows himself to breathe again. His ears are ringing. The air smells like gun smoke. Something thuds against the wall behind him. Whoever is out there has circled around the back of the cabin and is throwing things at it. Another thud. This time, a wet, meaty splat. Jesus, his mind blurts. This fight has entered the realm of psychological warfare, a contest for which he is neither well equipped nor trained. Laura crawls under the table with the broken radio and hugs her knees, the hatchet in easy reach. He understands he won't be compelling her to relinquish the weapon. If Tom goes down, the hatchet's her Alamo. A new sound arrives now, a grisly, loud, and a strangely loud and grisly chewing. Jesus God, he thinks. The girl sings quietly. The hunter was hungry. The town told him no. Tom knows the rest. Every kid in Ledger grows up knowing it. He ate the wrong thing where they made him go. In the whispering woods, all must beware. The man who now hunts as the hungry hare. A rural legend in the Texas Panhandle region. This killer is a man in a hair mask, just like the old story. Just like 9 years ago. Tom yanks the handheld from his belt. He mashes the talk button. Bailey to Mars. Mars, come in. The radio responds with white noise. Dispatch, dispatch. Signal 13. Officer in distress. Nothing. Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Deputy Tom Bailey of the Cross County Sheriff's Department. Anyone on this frequency, please respond. Dead air. The summer camp is remote, and the ancient handheld radios the department uses lack the range to reach the town. With a frustrated sigh, Tom returns the radio to his belt. Deputy Sheriff, he shouts into the night, you're under arrest. Come here and surrender, or I'll use lethal force. No thuds, no nauseating chewing. Quiet now. He feels useless. If Tom ventures out there, he'll be hunting a maniac killer in the dark among cabins and trees, plenty of places to hide. The killer could easily ambush him or sneak past to finish what he started with Laura. His only viable option is to stay here, under siege. He jumps as the shrieking starts up again, this time shrill and frustrated. The killer's on the move, heavy stomping footsteps that tremble up the planks and then the soles of Tom's boots. Behind him, Laura lets out a pitiful moan. The man's pace quickens until it accelerates to a sprint, more animal than human. Moving to the door, Tom readies his revolver, but sees nothing in the dark. The killer is circling the cabin, working himself up to attack. This is it. Tonight, Tom went from boredom to terror. Now he's angry. When the killer comes, he'll be ready with his 6-gun cocked and aimed to shoot. Only each circuit appears to take the man farther away. Tom takes another step forward. He's outside now. Come on, you bastard. Already second-guessing every decision he made since coming here, thinking he failed somehow. The scales must be righted. He wants to get this man. I'm right here, Tom roars. The air hums with manic drumming that seems to come from all directions, and then it stops. The night fills with the ring of insects again. The killer appears to be gone. As if reading his thoughts, Laura says, he's still here. He's always here. He shakes his head. If he is, he doesn't want to test us. He knows how to wait. Now's the time to make a run for his cruiser and call home. Marshal every able-bodied man with a badge and get him out here. Lock the area down and beat the bushes. Tom doesn't move. He suspects Laura isn't going anywhere, and he can't leave her alone while he makes the 50-yard dash to his shotgun and radio. He tries anyway. Let's go. My vehicle isn't far. Laura answers by slowly scooping up the hatchet and holding it in a tight grip, her face expression saying, "Try and make me." Tom sighs. "We'll wait for sunrise." She nods. "Safe in daylight." Demons and killers fear and flee the sun. This strikes him as more horror movie rule than a fact on which he should bet his life, but he accepts it. The killer's unnatural shrieks keep playing in his head, grating and terrifying. He asks her if she thinks anyone else might be alive. Laura stares at him. "I saw everyone here die." "All right." Tom sits on the floor next to the desk and settles in with the .38 resting on his lap. Laura curls into a fetal ball. He takes off his windbreaker and drapes it over the trembling girl. Then he waits. Daylight can't come fast enough. It's going to be a very long night. Thank you very much.
Craig, thank you. That's fantastic.
Oh, wow,
Very
that
creepy,
is exciting.
very intense.
All right, I have to confess, it's on my TBR pile, and the main reason, aside from you being an awesome author, is that my son went to Nobi Bosco Boy Scout Camp, which is where they filmed Camp Crystal Lake. That was Crystal Lake Camp when he was there. So I've always been intrigued with the idea of things that can go wrong at summer camps and massive murders and things like that. So yeah, he's old enough now. He's had a baby. I can probably read this book without getting too caught up. That's so exciting, Craig.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to write, and just to take, when the slasher, whenever you have a genre that sort of plays itself out, it enters the meta phase, and then the meta phase usually goes towards comedy. And I had done one like that called How to Make a Horror Movie, and which was very campy, and that whole idea of comedy and horror being kissing cousins. I definitely played with that, and had people dying left and right in Final Destination type murders. And this was a great, because this was meta. I had to be meta because we're in that phase of slashers, but I was able to play it straight because I changed the point of view. And so that made it like, it just take the whole thing fresh, start from scratch, respect all the tropes, the harbinger, the final girl, like all the deputy or the sheriff, all the characters are there, but they're all real people, flesh and blood people in a real town under a very real threat. And so it was very fun, a lot of fun to write this one. And then as well as the sequel, which is less Friday the 13th and is more John Carpenter's The Fog, where, there's a town under a curse and it's time to pay the piper.
Very cool. Well, I think my impression after reading this was almost, this is what we might have gotten if Jim Thompson had ever written a slasher. It brings in that, I think we talked about this a little bit too via email, about the that crime fiction element, where it walks that line between what a crime story, supernatural horror, and a slasher, and has all those elements and balances them so beautifully. So was that something you consciously did? Yeah,
and it kind of rolled out by taking the premise seriously. And I didn't, people see slasher and someone's going to get stabbed in the face every 10 pages, but this is not that kind of book. This is more him trying to unmask a killer. There are plenty of red herrings. It'll have you guessing, I think, to the end as to who the killer is. The killer is actually in plain sight, but the reader will go on a journey to try and figure out who it is. And so I wanted to do that the deputy is trying to gain his redemption. There was a slaughter at this camp 10 years before. He failed his girlfriend because he wasn't there, and she was the final girl. And now that's why he became a deputy. And now it happens again right under his watch. He's racked with guilt, like it's his fault. And he doesn't want to just bear witness this time. He wants to actually catch the killer. So now he's right in the middle of Friday the 13th, like in its aftermath, actually trying to catch the killer. And there's plenty of gore, but it's more referenced stories.
Mm.
And then once the killer's unmasked again in the sequel that comes out in November, then it's all out survival horror. There's plenty of people getting stabbed in the face, and there's a lot of payoff on the legend and also all sorts of things.
There's
books
a
really
fair
go
amount
well
of
as a good
stabbing in this book.
companion. Yeah. And I was absolutely thrilled because I pitched it to Hachette, my editor, I said, I think this is a duology because they're very different stories. They're complete stories, but they're different stories on a different track to tell one single story. And the editor he loved it. I love my editor to tears, Bradley Engler. He's fantastic. And he and I get each other, and he loves slashers and found footage and all that stuff. We groove a lot on movies, and he said, I want to do this, and but if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. We're going to have the books come out a couple months apart and very similar covers. And I was like, this is all music.
So
absolutely
definitely
music to
hooked
me.
together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very
To
cool.
my ears.
Very cool. Yeah. So you talked a bit about how you came to write the books, how you approached it. But before that, had you ever thought one day I'm going to write a slasher novel?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't actually. I mean, I grew up with them, like Friday the 13th, and the Arrow, and with like mind blowing. The Halloween, the Fog, anything John Carpenter, like.
Sure.
So, and then it becomes very familiar to you, right? And you feel so. For a long time, people didn't do it, and then, I started to see it show up in fiction. Adam Cesare did a wonderful job. He had kind of inverted some tropes himself and did a reinvention that made it his and made it fresh. Clowns in the Cornfield, that was a lot of fun, and so when I was kind of roaming, but as your horror author, I've done a novel with Simon Schuster that was Suffer the Children. That was vampires, but I did a new take on it. And then, from there, you just find yourself, there are different types of horror and different tropes. And a lot of times you are revisiting familiar territory. And so what you do is you try and find your own way to it. And, when I was looking at slashers, which is a venerable and exciting and still fertile, strangely still fertile horror territory. I said, well, I want to do something with that. What could I do with it? And then that was the idea with what if it was the deputy's point of view, and treat it as a mystery, as police procedural. The Friday the 13th told as a police procedural, and then its sequel told as sort of The Fog, where there's this vengeance being taken and there's a last stand to prevent it. And that's kind of where how it all came together creatively. But no, I'd never been sitting there saying, I'm dying to write a slasher. I just I end up dying to write an idea, because tropes are tropes, and then you find something in there that's so exciting you can almost close your eyes and see it in your hands, where you can almost read it. It's almost fully formed in your head, in this place of imagination, and that drives you to once again mentally climb Mount Everest and go through all the pain and suffering and joy and exquisite all of that, and go through all that again, and to be able to produce a work. That idea drives me, just like I think it drives you and many other authors.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me. I'm listening to you talk about all these, that you're looking at all these tropes and you're thinking about all these things, but it also shows us how well read you are and how much you've delved into the community and the world. How do you balance your time and your interest and your energy between reading what's out there and writing your own and letting it influence you but not overwhelm you? How does that work for you?
I'm not one of those people who I I mean, maybe I used to be. It's like Colson Whitehead said, you know, you read and read to find out what kind of writer you want to be, and then you write and write to find out what kind of writer you are. A sentiment I'd had many I'd come up with, but like he said it beautifully, so I always quote him. And I think that we all know this, and that this is true. So I'm kind of in the stage of my career, I'm getting gray hairs here. So like I've been doing this long enough, I think I know what kind of writer I am. And so I can pretty much read things without being unduly influenced. I know some writers are concerned about that. They don't want to be kind of swayed creatively towards one thing or another by what they're reading. But me, no, I'm the opposite. If I'm reading something, I'll read, first of all, I'll read like 20 nonfiction books that have anything to do. Like I read like tons of books on being a sheriff in Texas and small towns and what Texas life is like, and the Panhandle, the history, rural legends, slashers, you name it, getting all the tropes right, get everything right. And then, you know, I've just read a lot of horror fiction around it, and, you know, it just gets me in the mood. I just find it enjoyable, and it just gets me in the mood. You know, I write military fiction on the side too. I self-publish that. And when I'm writing that, I just wrote a novel about the siege of Dien Bien Phu in Vietnam, which ended what they called the First Indochina War, and gained independence for North Vietnam and South Vietnam. And I did so much, you know, you end up reading like 30 books on a subject. So it's wonderful because it's keeping you, it's like grease for the wheels, right, of your brain, to just every day completely be committed. Like I'm writing in the shower while I'm driving. Like I'm surprised I'm still alive. I'm Mr. Magoo of fiction, like walking through life with a story in my head. I'm at the mall and I'm picturing slaughter, and like I don't know how I don't like walk into a bus, but like
aren't we all though at the mall?
You probably
especially around the holidays.
I think you're right, but So what? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. But
sorry.
No, it's okay. But that's pretty much how you know my brain ends up working with this stuff. Yeah.
Well, that actually was something you said made me wonder about part of your process, which is, so you read a lot of books about being a sheriff, about the Texas Panhandle, the lore, the culture, and life there. Now, the sheriff piece, and the deputy is integral to the concept or the story, so that you've got to research. But why set it in Texas in particular? Why not set it someplace you know better that might save you that research time?
I love the cowboy hats.
Perfect. That's enough said.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was simple as that. You know, and I loved that they would have to call the Rangers because this is serial killer, right? So should we call the Rangers? Like I love that, instead of call the FBI,
call the Rangers.
State police. Wow. Call the Rangers. Like there's so much in Texas.
Get Chuck Norris here. Yeah.
That's romantic, and especially in regards to law enforcement, where we have this idea, you know, Walker, Texas Ranger. We had this idea, pop culture idea of the Texas sheriff and deputy as being sort of like feudal barons and ruling their county. You also have very sparsely populated area, and when you have survival horror, it's very key also that you isolate people. So I wanted people in a town, but I want that town to be isolated. So I'm a big fan of Arctic horror. I could have gone that way, but instead I wanted like summer, heat, desolation. The Panhandle is all of that. The weather itself and the setting becomes a character in the story because it's so fascinating. The dust storms, the blizzards, the prairie, the local culture. Like you have these anti-government ranchers. You have the sheriff who's sort of like ruling, you know, with an iron fist, doing the law his way. And then you have these people who live in the middle of, they're an hour from, say, Amarillo, but to them, they're pretty far away. And you have this really small law enforcement department policing a county the size of Rhode Island. So it was, to me, it just struck me as the absolute ideal location. And then I knew I could come back because a good slasher is always seasonal and tied to some anniversary. So instead of summer with Pioneer Days in the town, it's now the Yule Day, parade, and around Christmas in the winter when you have whiteouts, blizzards, like it's desolate, but in a very different way. And then in the middle of all this kind of like semi-arid steppe, you have this odd little forest, an oasis, the Whispering Woods around a crystal lake, and everyone loves it. It's like Eden in the middle of the Panhandle, an oddity, in the middle of this like semi-arid desert. This oddity that this gorgeous woods are there, and of course it's the ideal place for, even though the people in the town instinctively avoid it overnight, staying there overnight, they just know in their bones that there's blood in the soil, that they still, that someone can't resist, loves the outdoors, wants to start a summer camp, and away we go again.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we have a fun comment from the audience that I'm going to share before we bring Tom back on. This is from Brian Matthews, who said, for Christmas, his daughter gave him My Ex-Wife, My Ex the Antichrist, I think is the right title, right, Craig?
Yes.
Yes.
No, my ex, no, not my ex-wife, my ex, the Antichrist. Yeah.
Which he found funny because
I already got in trouble enough with my ex-wife when this book came out. Don't get me in more trouble.
And
He didn't write that comment. No.
Funny, given she's talking about her mother. Okay, well, still a great book. So, thank you, Brian.
Her mother's lovely. Yes.
Yeah. So why don't we bring Tom on, and then I actually want to ask you one more question, Craig, which is, and Tom, the same question for you because I'm just curious. Craig, do you have a favorite slasher movie?
Oh, Tom, you want to go first on this?
Tom, do you have a favorite slasher movie?
Yeah. I mean, Halloween, the original, is hands down still my favorite. As far if I had to pick one that's different, because that's kind of too much of a safe bet, Stone Cold Classic. You ever see that movie You're Next? It was like a final girl, but she just like basically.
It's the one the family's coming home for like a family dinner, and
yeah. If you like kick-ass final girls, this is your movie. So, yeah, one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, for me, a bunch come to mind, and some titles are escaping me. I remember I saw one I absolutely loved. It was, do you remember the one with Vernon? And he's a slasher, but it's a documentary about him. Has anyone
Behind
seen
the
this?
Mask, right?
Behind the Mask. I just thought that was just brilliant. Yeah. In the same way I liked Cabin in the Woods, I really liked the recognition, that there's this point in when things go meta that you start to call out the rules, and Scream did that really well. And then, but I thought Vernon or Behind the Mask was brilliant. Like, how is he so fast, and how is he always ahead of the final girl when she's running? And I thought it functioned well as a movie and as a comedy. And I liked Cabin in the Woods for the same reason. And then there was another one Chris and I saw recently. Geez, man, another title that escapes me, but it was this group of 20-somethings they're looking for this young woman's sister who went missing in this valley. They meet the Harbinger. They end up at this sort of like a welcome center. And the welcome center, locks down, and they find themselves in this like very bizarre, almost ghost type world where they end up getting killed over and over again. And every time they die, they wake up in the same place. And I can't remember the title of that one either. It was like an Until Dawn type of title.
That sounds.
I just thought that was really a lot of fun too, and familiar, but really played it straight and had a lot of really new territory in it. I just thought that was great.
Very cool.
Cool. Yeah. Well, Jim, do you have a favorite?
Oh, I've never been a huge fan of the genre, so I guess
I
my
don't know
favorite is
somebody.
sort of
Yeah.
the is kind of an anti-slasher. It's probably Tucker and Dale versus Evil, where
Another
they
one of my
think
favorites.
they're slashers, all the victims think they're slashers, but yeah,
Yeah.
I just have so much fun
Oh,
with that.
It's a riot.
Yeah.
oh, that's funny. Well, yeah, I don't have a favorite, but I do have a fun fact to know and tell. In Camp Crystal Lake, Craig was talking about the clear water in his Texas lake and all this. Well, Camp Crystal Lake, you'd think it's see-through and clear and all this. The actual location is very iron rich, and so the water is completely opaque and brown. And my son found this out by doing his very first swim test. His little kid jumped in the water, just learned to swim, couldn't see a thing, and he freaked out. So he didn't get to go into swim lessons. He had to stay in the shallow that area.
The water
And it's
might
all
even
because of
be
Camp Crystal
reddish
Lake.
if it's iron rich.
Yeah. It was
That's what
like
I was thinking.
brownish,
It actually
brownish
looks
red.
like blood
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's very dark. Oh well. Cool.
So Tom, what have you got on the horizon? What's coming up next that people can look for?
Oh, okay. Well, coming up next for Nuts and Bolts, Becky Spratford gives an absolutely wonderful interview about libraries, like just basically what your local library can do for you. I mean, just in the course of talking to Becky for this story, I myself just learned so much. Like, oh my God, I didn't realize the library had all those resources for me as a writer. So by all means, check it out. Also have an upcoming interview about the Horror Writers Association Summer Scares program. That was another program that I myself did not fully understand. It's really all about getting horror into public libraries, which is a good thing for everybody associated with the genre. So, be sure to look out for that. We'll be explaining more about the Summer Scares program and what that's all about. So, looking forward to that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
And Craig, we know you've got the second book in the duology. And what's the title of book 2 again?
The Yule Day Slaughter. And so that's coming out in November. And it wraps up the story. Yeah. And then just looked at a cover and waiting for next round of edits on People with Taste, which is basically the bear meets tender as the flesh, I guess is one way you could describe it. Yeah, cannibalism and fine dining and all sorts of other hijinks. That's coming out probably next June.
So Craig, it's another cookbook, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds terrific.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really neat.
So Carol, what about you? I think you have some stuff on its way.
Yes, I'm excited to say I have a short story in Ellen Datlow's upcoming anthology. It's coming out on July 21st. It's called Lovecraft's Brood, and from Tachyon Publications. So that's very cool. And we even have a picture up in the gallery, Jim, if that jumps into your fingers.
Grab that.
Yeah. Well, the cover is really wonderfully creepy. This is a sequel to her previous one. So that's cool.
Yes.
Oh, so look at that cool cover. Yeah,
They're
Casey
really
Lansdowne did these
creepy.
cool graphics for us. Yeah. Yeah. And my story is Call of the Void, L'Appel du Vide, which is, if you look behind me, it takes place in this location, and picture you're standing up on the top of one of those ridges looking over, and there's that overwhelming compulsion to just step off. So that's what the story is about. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got this anthology coming out in the fall that some of you may have heard of, and I actually got, which hopefully my green screen will let me show this. This is a proof copy that I just got yesterday.
It's showing up.
Ooh.
Which is inspired by
new stuff.
Yes, pictures taken at the location behind me, which is the a real life abandoned psychiatric hospital. And I've edited that. Craig has a story in there called Parasite, which is a delightfully horrifying piece of writing. And I'm really excited for that to come out. I'm sure, many of you watching us probably saw my relentless promotion of this last month to support the Kickstarter. So thank you for your patience, and hopefully you enjoyed some of the videos. But very excited for that to be released in the fall from Raw Dog Screaming Press.
Yeah. Oh, they're terrific. Yeah. That's really awesome. And I love the fact that you're doing that special hardcover edition, and that you've got all the extra pictures and stories in there. I can't wait to hold one. Yeah. That's going to be really terrific.
All right. And I think our local chapter of the Horror Writers Association, the HWA NY chapter, has a couple of events coming up in the summer. We're actually later this month, July
26th. Yeah.
I'm going to put the link in the chat for the Facebook if my keyboard.
Okay, and I'm going to put a picture up for a second while you're talking.
Yeah.
It's our Summer Chills reading at Shade Bar, which is in the West Village in New York City. So if you're nearby, please jump in. We'd be delighted to have you come and join us. And all of our members will be reading and listening and having fun. So it's a nice little cozy bar.
In-person readings.
I know.
We'll be doing
we started this whole
on August 9th, right?
Yes. We're doing another one. And here's the next one. August 9th, Summer Chills number 2. Cool off with some great chills. So it's at the same location. They love us there. We love them there. It's on Sunday, August 9th. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Yeah. And yeah, we have those couple Facebook events and such like that. And so cool. We have another Galactic Terrors show coming up next month on the second Thursday in August. So mark your calendars for that, please. And we will be delighted to have you join us again. That would be very cool. Yeah.
And sign up for the newsletter if you want to know in advance who will be reading. We haven't finalized that schedule yet, but I did put the link for the newsletter in the chat.
Yes, indeed. Thank you much, Lee.
Be the first on your block to know who's reading on Galactic Terrors.
And if you find out, let us know. No, I'm kidding. I'm just teasing. I really am. And okay, I also have to do this. Up above, Nick told us to pay the cat tax, show a pic. So I actually have a cat shirt on. So this is Cat and Moon. This is a really cool series of T-shirts that my friend Angie Shearstone has done the art for. She's a horror aficionado and artist, and I know her from Camp Nikon, and she's got these really cool shirts. So, yes, we have a real cat. Yeah. That's a beauty. Look at this. Who is this?
Well, the kids named him Dumbledore, but we just call him Kitty, and he's Siamese cross.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome. Yeah. And Tom.
How about you, Tom?
Wow.
This is Tough Guy Bugs. He's a kitten, believe it or not. He's basically going to be the size of a Rottweiler once he's full grown.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Wow.
He is the sweetest kitty in the whole. He's a kitten.
Wow.
This is a kitten that I'm holding. I'm not kidding you.
That's wild. That's
He's not
like
a Maine
a
Coon, is he?
tiger, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the sweetest
Those
boy
guys
in
are
the whole world.
gorgeous. I'm jealous. See, that's why I showed my shirt first, because neither of my cats are with me anymore, but I still have cat hairs all over the house. So that's fair.
I do not have a cat, and I think my dog would object to me putting them on screen, trying to pass them off as a cat. So I'll just.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tom and Craig, for joining us tonight, for sharing your work and giving such wonderful reading. We really appreciate it. Enjoyed the Q&A, and it's always great to hear about the behind the scenes stories and hear about your process. So that was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really cool.
And thanks to everybody.
Yeah,
All
thanks
right.
so much. It was terrific.
And thanks to our audience. We're back now, so come back in August and keep in touch. Like, subscribe, sign up for the newsletter, all that good stuff, and we will see you again in a month.
Mm.